Tetris! We left the office at the usual, at the by right knockoff time, but we're not going home. We're actually going to meet a developer. In case you guys don't know, we both work in the creative space. In layman's terms, my role is the role of traffic, which is the project manager, and Tetris is the account servicing. We are working on a digital project now, so we are going over to Starbucks. I know Starbucks is boring. I'm going to show you guys what we have in Starbucks Singapore anyway. We're going over to Starbucks to meet our developer and have a discussion. And I decided that I want to try something a bit different today. I'm going to give a quick review on the Kepler Prism. It's not bad, a spinner, but I'll talk about it a little bit more once we reach Starbucks. Cheese pie smells so good. I cannot wait to try it. I've been waiting to try this. This is Naveen.
Hello.
Yeah, so he's the developer. And I'm kind of having dinner because I didn't eat much during lunch. But this is the mac and cheese pie that I think is seasonal for like Christmas. And I wanted to try it the other day, but the other Starbucks that I was at was sold out. And then I was thinking, if we were going to meet at Starbucks today, I'm going to try this if this was in stock, and they did have it, so yeah. It's pretty damn good. It's like crumbly cheese on top. Nicely baked, yeah, nice. I don't know, crispy on top, bro. Inside is soft. Bro, it's good. This or pizza waffle? Both. And the drink is a vanilla sweet cream. Cold brew.
Yeah, cold brew. We're not gonna sleep tonight.
We ain't gonna sleep tonight.
No.
We'll be having our discussion first, and then I guess I'll talk about the spinner after this.
3 hours later.
We are done with the meeting with Naveen. I'm just gonna quickly tell you guys a little bit about the Prism Spinner before me and Tetris part ways, because I'm heading home and he's gonna watch Thor. What's it called? Thor Ragnarok? Something like that?
Yeah, I think.
Right?
Yeah,
Thor Ragnarok?
So.
Yeah, so very quickly, some of the specs on this guy. 5 centimeters wide, I think, from the widest points on each side. Weighs about 58 grams in stainless steel, slightly brushed. It has trit slots that are actually pretty damn small. I don't even understand why. It costs $42.99, and you can also add on certain finishing options from Spinnetics at a different price. So I think Spinnetic offers stone washed as a finish. That's an add-on because they're going to do it themselves, or also a flamed finish. I think you can even go for a combination. I'm not so sure, don't quote me on that, but yes, this is available at the Spinnetics website. So far, this thing actually spins really smooth. Even Tetris was quite surprised. He said that it was akin to the arachnophobia.
Yeah, it's good.
Really?
Very little wobble, it's smooth, and compared to the arachnophobia, it's a smaller form factor, which is more portable, I guess.
So you guys heard him, but to me it's not as comfortable as the arachnophobia, and I will explain this to you, I guess, later, because we're almost at the train station now, and then I'll just head home. So yep, I'll just see you at the next part. Yeah, the daily rush hour is like this all the time. I'm out of the train and I'm taking a slightly different path home today because it looks like it's gonna rain because there's some lightning happening. So you guys could see, I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, just taking a different path just in case it starts raining. Then at least I'll have some shelter and still talk to you guys about the Prism. So I was saying just now that it costs $42.99, and it comes with an extra R188 bearing, one installed in the spinner and one in the tin can that it comes in. And also it has another set of buttons, so you have a spare set of buttons, which are pretty unique because these actually feature a pentagonal style kind of button. The main shape of the button is still circular, but there's some repeating pentagonal steps. So it's a repeating pentagonal pattern that goes inwards, that creates a dish. So I won't really say it's a concave, it's more of a dish because it ends up in a flat area. And I'm just going to talk to you guys about the tritium slots that I mentioned earlier on. Now there's 6 slots on this guy altogether, and these slots are for 1.5 by 6 millimeter tritium vials. and 3 on each side, of course, but they are actually located in these straight edges or the outer perimeter of the spinner frame itself. And that is definitely a unique location for tritium slots. And when you install tritium vials, when you actually spin it, it's going to be very visible. But I feel that the slots are not properly done. They are actually pretty small slots. Like, it feels like the slots are supposed to fit the tritium vials perfectly. And generally, if you want the best glow results for trits, you want the trit slots to be slightly bigger. These are some of the smallest and narrowest trit slots I've seen so far on a spinner, which is a little bit unfortunate. Nice idea, but not such a good execution. Next, I'm going to talk to you guys about the fidgetability of this. Fidgetability wise, this is actually okay. There's no problem fidgeting with it. It's really smooth, like what Tetris said. Spin quality is like the Very Dapper. So any of you who actually own a Very Dapper, this thing spins smooth, just like the Very Dapper. Yeah, it's just smooth. You actually feel some feedback, not too much, no wobble, very smooth, no judder, very smooth, nice reflections as well, and you actually get that kind of like a floating ring kind of effect. Yeah, which is actually pretty awesome. Fidgetability, like I said, is not so bad, but it's good when you perform preloaded flicks like that out here, because the weights are actually very nicely angled, very comfortable actually. Even though out here is really sharp at the peak of the edge, it is sharp, but you probably will rarely get your finger out there anyway, so it's not going to cause you much of a problem. The whole spinner features a brushed finish, but the brush finish is not the best. I think it's safe to say that Kepler needs to really work on their brush finishes. We've seen some pretty lackluster brush finish on some of the other spinners. I think that could have been done a lot better, you know what I mean? So Kepler, you need to work on your brushing, yeah, because it's not very even, and you can actually see close to the trit slots that the brushing is not done well. Yeah, so that's one main gripe. The next thing I will say is that forward flicks are actually pretty uncomfortable with this guy, because these bars in between, the middle bars, are just really narrow. And well, they are hard edges, and they actually don't feel so bad during the first couple of minutes if you are performing forward flicks like that, be it with your middle finger or your fourth finger. As long as you're resting on that hard edge like that, that's going to be uncomfortable after a while, because it gets to you. It's so narrow, it gets to you. And the last thing I want to say is that I don't know why they decided to print their own company name on that bar. Doesn't make sense. It's not a laser engraving that we know that Kepler is capable of doing. It is just an ink printing, and I feel that it's poorly executed because it fades off over time. Like, you could see that mine is starting to fade a bit on the ampersand sign, so not sure why Kepler wanted to do that. Right, so those are my pros and cons of this spinner. I'm enjoying it if I perform preloaded flicks, but not enjoying it if I perform forward flicks like that, because over time this is going to be really uncomfortable. The buttons themselves, they feel really comfortable. The buttons are not too wide. I believe they are 19 millimeters in diameter, but that pentagon steps and that dish, really nice to grip on, really comfortable. So I applaud Kepler for that. So my final verdict on the Kepler Prism, for $42.99, I think it's a little bit expensive. I mean, the design is interesting. It really is, depending on each individual's taste. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's gonna like this triangle design, and not everyone's gonna like this pentagonal shape up here and in the buttons itself. But you could see that it's very geometric in terms of inspiration and design. It's got slots for trits, 6 slots. It's got unique buttons, very smooth spin, but it kind of feels like I would pay only about $30 or $35 for this. 42 is a little bit, okay, let's just call it 43 since it's $42.99. $43 is a little bit expensive for my opinion on this spinner. Just gonna sit down here for a little while and finish up this video. On the Spinetics website, it states that it gets about 3.5 minute spins two-handed out of box, and I will say that this is true. I was able to hit 3.5 minutes, about 3.5 minutes, give and take a little bit, 3 times in a row on a two-handed table spin, which is pretty awesome. And this is straight out of the packaging, or I should say when I received it, without really kind of taking time to break the bearing in. The fact that you get an extra bearing of the same quality is a plus point. You get extra buttons that you could use on other spinners as well, so it's a plus point as well. But still, with the finishing and hard edges on that narrow bar is something that can be improved on. Maybe if it was rounded, maybe if the bar was slightly thicker, I don't know, but that's my opinion. And I want to give a shout out to Kepler for sending this over to me directly. No, Spinetics did not send this to me. Kepler sent it to me directly. So shout outs to you, Kepler. Thank you so much for this. I will say that so far I've been enjoying the spinner. It's been a joy to fidget with, but it still can be improved a bit more. And I think that it's a little bit, just very slightly more expensive than what I would pay for. And that's about it, guys. Links in the video description down below, as always. And thank you so much for sharing in this slice of my life. I hope that I provided enough information to help you decide whether or not the Kepler Prism Spinner is a spinner for you. And I will end off this video by saying that I think that this is actually a pretty good fidgeter, and it spins quite well, very smooth, and it feels very, very well balanced. So what I'm planning to do is purchase one of those trick spinner buttons from Spinetics, put them on this guy and practice tricks with it, because I think it'll be a cool trick spinner. Yeah, that's my opinion. Alright everyone, catch y'all in the next slice of my life, and Gaga Boost.